Good afternoon to all of our SagaDAO Alpha Club community members out there. We are absolutely bullish to announce that we have officially partnered up with the legends over at the Owners Club. And today we have Andrew and our Alpha caller, the real Gapper, here ready to do a deep dive on everything that the Owners Club has been pioneering here in Web3. So let's go ahead and get our notebooks out and let's get ready for some Alpha. How we doing today, Andrew?
We're doing great today, Pierre. How about you?
Always a bullish day. I know Duck and myself are super excited for today. I know Gap he's just been bringing so much alpha and energy about your guys' community. So super excited to deep dive into not only what you've been pioneering, but our official partnership with y'all.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm more than willing and ready and very eager to.
So if we'd like, if you can just give us a brief description, a little bit about who the Owners Club are and exactly what y'all have been pioneering here in Web3.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Owners Club is a mobile NFT horse racing based game at heart, but it primarily is just it's a fun mobile game that you can play. You go in there, you train up, build up, and build and refine your horse from zero to hero. Refining over many different courses of racing, and you really get to customize and build that horse into what it could, the monster that it has the ability to potentially become. And we are really fastly approaching our TGE event. Once we go into our TGE event, very shortly after, we'll be unlocking real money stakes racing. And at that point in time, you'll be able to go in and enter in a race at any point in time that we have races on the schedule, and put your money where your mouth is. Really, right here, what we believe in Owners Club is using your gaming intelligence and not just being someone that's good at using your thumbs. We really want you to put your mind to the test, and that's why you take your horse, you build it, you train it, you enter the races. Every decision matters along the way.
I was also hoping maybe you might be able to show us the game a little bit and give us a little bit of a walkthrough.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to click play as guest and you come right to this fantastic menu here. And then you get to choose a trainer. So right when you start playing for the first time, you get to choose a trainer. I'm going to select Jack here.
Does it matter which trainer you choose?
It does not matter which trainer you use. If you want to see Emma, you can see Emma. If you want to see Jack, you can see Jack. I just chose Jack because Jack's a cool name. Now, the next screen brings you into Silk Creation. This doesn't matter, all about your preference. My name is Andrew, so I obviously am going to select the letter A. Who wouldn't? And I like the color red and black. So these will be my my silk design. After you've designed your silk to your heart's content, the next thing that you get to do is you get to select what type of horse you would like to start off with. And so it's explaining here what a sprinter does, what a miler does, and what a stayer does. Sprinters are for more short-term, milers for more all-arounders, and stayers are more long-term horses. So I'm going to make a sprinter for the sake of it here. This is also going to let you select what type of surface you'd like to run on. I like turf. And so now I'm about to make my brand new invincible horse, Invincible Vinny. And there we go. And so now what it's going to do is it's going to basically tell you, hey, you should go in and start trying out some of our new races. So it wants me to enter into an instant race against some of the AI components. So I'm going to select on Invincible Vinny, bring him into that instant race. Now, one of the cool things about our game is that you can change the camera set and you can mess around and see how well some other people are doing. I don't have to just watch myself or the front guy. I can watch anywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love messing around with these views. You can see the jockey view, the horse point of view, or the overall point of view.
I can honestly say, and again, I know we don't refer to the Owners Club as a Web3 game, but for Web3 products that I've seen, this is the best quality game I have ever seen. And I wholeheartedly mean that. This is amazing graphics, just seamless gameplay. Wow.
Now you see that big Owners Club billboard at front ahead of us?
Yeah,
You see them all around the sides. Soon enough, those will become digital advertisement billboards for either partners or other companies that want to be able to promote during some of our live events. This is down the line, but just wanted to point it out and highlight it while we're there and while we're seeing it. So I came in fourth. Invincible Vinny, he gave it a fair shake. Alas, he still needs a little bit of improvement. And that's where it's going to bring us to next, is it's basically going to say, hey, you need to train Invincible Vinny up a little bit. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look here. And so I can see that I have my sprinter horse. I know it's a turf horse. And so I need to reach some of these standings. So I'm going to train up my horse a little bit.
What are you focusing on with a sprinter, Andrew?
Okay, so with a sprinter, what's going to be very important to me is having higher speed and acceleration traits over stamina, because he's more of a, he doesn't need as much stamina, which is for more of a long-term race, over needing higher amounts of speed. Now, in my mind, being a seasoned player, where I'm going with this is I want to reach my stamina probably to level 60 to unlock the full potential of my my sprinter trait. But after that, I'm going to focus and level up until I'm done leveling on speed and acceleration, and make up my lack of stamina points with boosters when I go into my races.
Now, does stamina have an effect on how much food your horse is going to need afterwards? Like, say your stamina is better, like during the race, say your stamina is at 60 now, it runs the same race that it did when it's at 52, will it need less food?
The only thing that affects the amount of energy that is needed is based upon the length of the race. However, in a more recent patch, every race takes 10 energy. And so, therefore, if you raced 5 races in a row, you would lose 50 energy, and you would just need to replace it with 150 energy race. Oh, sorry, 150 energy food type.
Or 40, because there isn't a 51 that you guys, that's an option.
Chestnuts are 50.
Oh, are they 50?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that. Oh, maybe it's because I didn't want to spend gems to buy chestnuts.
You probably don't want to spend gems to buy chestnuts. That's probably the truth of it.
Yeah.
Here's another tip for you, Duck, is that sometimes in the daily tasks, you'll see that there'll be chestnuts and whatnot given as rewards. So, always go and do your daily tasks, because you're getting free boosters every time you do your daily tasks, and those will then help you win the races. So it's like, very important to come in and do your dailies.
So, Gap, what you're telling the community is that your daily tasks is the alpha. Am I correct in saying that?
That's right. And then there's even a further longer term, what we call missions. And those are like, even harder tasks that go on past just the daily recurrence. And those provide like big rewards, like, huge sums of silver coins or huge sums of gems. And so that's like the kind of next step of, after you've done your dailies, then you can kind of look at the longer term missions.
That's awesome. Can you, by chance, maybe go to the stables and just explain what we look at when we're looking at the stables?
Absolutely, I can. I just need to click through this. It's telling me it wants me to put in some of these boosters and enter into this race. So I will skip
y'all officially have made me want to become a gamer and get my horse going. start training. And I think this is something I would love to do with my children as well. Personally, and this is me as a father, we don't allow violent games in our home. So this is definitely something that's family friendly that I would love to participate with my children.
My girls absolutely love it. They will come into me and be like, "Hey, Dad, can I feed the horses? Let me feed them the carrots. Let me feed the horses." Right, and so they're totally on board, and they'll wake me up in the morning being like, "Dad, Dad, Dad, the horses."
Now, and it also gives us an opportunity to onboard our children into Web3.
Right.
Uh, Absolutely love it.
So like Gap talked about, we have a 5-day streak reward that's attached to your dailies. So you do your daily tasks and you can earn towards a 5-day streak. On top of that, we have mini missions, which Gap also talked about, that are more longer scale. We have 13 mini missions that are in right now. And so the first mini mission is to win 5 instant races at Vegas tracks, which would be Las Vegas Turf Club Day or Night or Valley of Fire. And so once you've accomplished these, those, you can move on to the next mission and so on and so forth. And these missions are centered around your progression in the game on a more steady level, taking it up a notch and increasing, whether it's public difficulty or instant race difficulty or even multiplayer racing in some of them. And there's the chestnuts right here, just like I was saying.
So one thing I haven't like very rarely I noticed when I was racing my horse, especially on that first day, the happiness level never really changed. How does that affect the horse?
So happiness can be affected when your horse does poorly in races, right? So if you start racing a lot of races back to back and you're winning your races, your horse is going to remain happy. But your horse is kind of like you. And if you were to run 10 races and you did poorly in all 10 of your races, it affects your horse's happiness as morale starts to drop because of past race performance. And so one of the major things that you want to do is you want to make sure you take care of your horse and keep your horse happy and keep your horse well fed and energized. So when you're entering into these races, your horse is going to perform at its peak abilities.
I'll add to that and say that also when you are running your horse a lot and you deplete its energy past a certain level, it will then start also depleting the happiness. So you have to kind of watch your energy level to make sure it doesn't get, I think it's around like half the energy. So like if you drain like 50 energy out or maybe 40, it starts to then drain happiness as well as you do further races. If you then feed it and get the energy back up, then the happiness won't go down. But it's kind of like a management of a horse, just like real life. You have to make sure that you're giving it food and care to make sure that it performs at its best.
Absolutely correct. You can't just leave it on its own and expect it to do everything.
Now, okay, I know we spoke about doing your daily tasks, which then goes into the missions, but now speaking about the health of our horses, let's say you're not interactive for 72 hours. Will that then affect the happiness or overall, I guess, health of your horse, which you'll have to start back at square one?
Currently, no, there is nothing in game that would affect it in that regard. Right now, it's only losing races that affects happiness and entering into races that affects the energy level or the feed level.
Okay. Thank you very much for clarifying that.
You will, however, gain some energy back over time. So even if you don't have enough food to feed your horse, if you wait long enough, he'll regain his energy naturally. So also provides an avenue for people who don't want to pay for buffs or pay for food items or get food items, use their food items that they got for free from their missions. They can just wait for their horse to re-energize that way.
Okay. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Duck.
So can you explain? So like I'm looking here and you see the care, the feed, and the workout buttons right below your skills, which you haven't learned any yet. Can you explain maybe the differences between the three and how they actually affect your horse? And then possibly continue on with maybe the difference between, say, a workout, an instant race, and a general race?
Yes, absolutely. So, feed affects energy level of your horse that's entering into a race. So, for example, if your horse has full energy, it's going to perform optimally the best that it possibly can versus if it's running at half energy and it's a little bit tired. So, wanting to keep your horse completely fed so it can perform at its optimal best is what you can take from the feed bar. The care bar, care and happiness is the way that I'm just going to equate this bar, affects also how well your horse can perform. And so the best rule of thumb is that when you're entering into let's say I'm going to enter into this public race, what it does is it takes essentially a snapshot of my settings at this current time. So if I'm going to enter into this race, it's going to take a look and it's going to take off 10 points from my energy. But because I'm racing, I'm actually going to make my horse happier, and I'm going to revamp my my workout bar, because your workout bar goes up based upon the races that you're running and how active your horse is and how much energy it's actually using. So all three of the bars kind of work together in tandem. They all are correlated in a sense. So when I enter into this race, it takes a snapshot at my time of entry. And so when I go back to my stable and I look at my horse, you see how my energy is down? And so the only way I could fix that is by feeding it again and replacing that energy that I had lost. If I were to enter into another race, it would be running as if I had 90 energy versus that full 100 energy max.
So I just noticed that you just fed your horse again, and now, even though its energy was full, does it affect it? Can you overfeed your horse, and does that affect it at all?
Well, his energy wasn't full. It
Oh, I
went
thought
down
it
because
was.
of
I'm
the
sorry.
race.
Oh,
No,
that's
don't worry, don't worry. It went down just because of the race. But technically speaking, I believe I could overfeed my horse if I wanted to, yes.
And then how would that affect it?
It wouldn't do anything beneficial for me. Like if I used my apples, my 2 apples that I had in stock, I can't go above 100 energy or 100 happiness. And so therefore I would just have the simple gratification of watching a cool animation.
Okay, so it wouldn't like drop its happiness or anything like that at all if you
No,
overfeed. You're just wasting a tool, basically.
I'm basically just wasting a useful tool. Yeah, just to see a cool animation. As cool as it might be, I don't know if it's worth it though.
No, that's great. Now, can you explain, say, the differences between like a workout or an instant race, and say like a general or a public race?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So workout races, you go to your horse right here in the stable. You click on the workout button. And workout races are good. Consider them training races. When your horse is either fully built or whether you've unlocked a new trait and you're trying to try something out, you have full total control here over everything. So I can select, I want to run on Las Vegas Turf Club night. I want to have some heavy rain. I want my opponents to be very hard that I'm running against. I want to run against 13 AI horses with everything being fast and the surface being turf, right? And I can select all the parameters that I want. From running these races, they are just a good way of running in a very competitive environment, but not having the risk of affecting my public reputation score that you can see here. Now, an instant race is a race against AI opponents. I still have a lot of control here. But I can actually enter in for 500 silver coins, and depending upon how well I do, I can actually earn more than my 500 silver coins that I got from it. A good thing for instant races is running them so that you can earn skill points to be able to level up your skills. You earn one skill point for every race that you run, whether it's an instant race or a public race. And then the final thing would be explaining the differences with the public race. Public races are going to be the most competitive races. They're going to be against real players. 90% of the time, they'll be filled with real players. Sometimes they'll have some bots that are thrown in to add in some competitive natureness to it. When we go into real money stakes racing, bots will not apply or be able to take away from the prize pool. So worry not there. But the point of public racing is that before you really want to enter in public racing, my best recommendation is that you train up your horse a little bit. You level them up, you unlock more of your traits, because you're going to be going against real people, and real people are pretty ruthless. I mean, I'm a very competitive guy. When I want to go in and compete, I want to compete with the best of the best, and I want to do the best of the best. And so because of that, I would not recommend going in with a brand new horse that you have not really trained and going in and competing against the best of the best, because you might get smoked.
So when you're looking at a public race to enter, what are some key factors you look at before entering?
So key factors that I would look at before entering is this race built best for my horse? Like I said, my horse is going to be a turf horse, right? It's got a turf horse, it's a sprinter, and it's a second wind, which would indicate that it tactically should be a closer. So when I'm going to enter into a race, I'm going to mess around with this filtered bar here, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select races that are best for my horse. And so here are some races that have popped up that are very good. They're 5 furlong races. They're turf races, and they're perfect for my horse. So now I'm going to select on here, and I can see that there's 2 players that have entered into this race out of the 12. So I got 2 players that I'm going to be running against. When I enter, and one of them is me, actually. I'm already entered into this race right here, which is funny enough. And it's going to take place in 53 minutes. So if no one else joins, it will be just me and this other player, and then there'll be 10 AI bots that will be running in the race along with us.
Okay, so I mean, does it show? I mean, when you're looking at, say, the other players that are in the race, does it show, say, their overall compared to yours? And
Yeah.
is
So
that
if
a
you want to
deciding
look at
factor at all?
Noble Sapphire right here, right? Now this is a bot. Let me see. This is one right here. Danny Acosta. He owns the horse Invincible Vinny, right? So I can see Danny Acosta's lifetime statistics. He's run 2 races. He won one of them, and he placed in the other one. So he came in first in one, and he came in second in the other one, right? And I can see, oh, actually, he came in 7th in the other one. I don't know what's going on here with the standing, but regardless of the fact, I think there's a little bit of an error. There's maybe a race that's not showing up. Regardless, I can see how well he performed in the past. So if we look at Maidenvale 40, the race on the top on the bottom, where there was 12 races and he came in first, right? Looking at this, you can see how there's like a 2 with a little 2 next to it, and 3 with a little 3, and 2 with a little 3. These are split times. And so what these are basically indicating is where he was, what place he was in at that given split time, and how many, I think it's yards, or maybe it's feet behind the leader that he is. I believe it's 2 yards, to be quite fair. And so what this would indicate is that his first split time, he was in second place, and he was 2 yards behind the leader. At the second split time, he was in third place and 3 yards behind the leader. At the third split time, he was in second place and 3 yards behind the leader. And at the final split time, he was in first place. And so you can kind of see that this horse seem to really make a move in that second third of the race, right? And so looking at this, it would most likely indicate to me that this horse could be a closer. And so looking at that as well, when I'm going to enter into a race, looking at my competitors and seeing how my horse is supposed to run, my horse is a closer as well. I might not want to enter into a given race if there's too many closers or too many front runners. I'm just making up random situations here, but you can look at all of this different information and kind of make the best guess or the best decision on what race you want to enter into.
Hey, Andrew, maybe we should show, maybe I showed it once, but maybe go back to it and kind of just show how we determine what is a closer and what is a front runner, and what is a stalker, so that people know how to marry their attributes up with the tactics that they should be using.
Sounds good to me. Let me just go into my other account because I have everything there.
No password this time?
No password. No password needed to be shared. I'm not letting you guys steal all my good stuff. Okay, so we have Andrew Jr. here as an example. Andrew Jr. is a closer, right? You can see that he has the second wind trait, and second wind indicates that he's a closer. It says this horse's favorite strategy is to stay on the back foot and save stamina to the end, therefore indicative of a closer, right? Now, as we go through some of these other horses, right, the traits look different. So closer is the horses a little bit behind. Andrew John Kerr here is a natural leader or a front runner. So his horse in the picture is a little bit ahead. And so natural leaders like to stay in the front, and they basically like to remain in the front the entirety of the race. Now, if we go over here to Speedy McSpeederson, he has the in the hunt trait or a stalker perk. And so what stalkers like to do is they like to hug in behind that leader, and then they like to make their move in that second third or the middle third of the race. Whereas closers make their move in that final third of the race. And so looking at your horse, that second speed, stamina, and acceleration trait, like I talked about, these are the traits that you want to track to figure out how your horse should be best run. The speed is going to dictate the turf or the track type. Stamina will indicate the length, and then acceleration will indicate the tactic that your horse best performs with and should best be run with.
I think also that's great explanation, Andrew. I think also important to point out is that there's buffs in the acceleration tactics that can be applied to your attributes. And so when you get a certain buff in your attributes, so for instance, I think you had the front runner one in your last horse there.
Yep.
Which would mean that you would want to concentrate on the front runner skills, which is the first row of skills at the top, because you're going to get buffs to those versus the other skill sets. So that's just some like alpha for you. When building a horse, you want to kind of concentrate on the skills that are being revealed to know where you should be putting your skill points to get the best bang for your buck out of your horse.
That's absolutely correct. And what Gap basically said, just to reiterate, is we start with speed, stamina, acceleration. Speed is a real good indicator of starting skills, whereas stamina is a very good indicator or representation of racing skills, and the acceleration is a very good indicator of your finishing skills. And the reason I say that is if you just click on some of these things like breezing, improved stamina utilization, working, higher speed and acceleration while not decreasing stamina, drafting, settle in behind horses easier and utilize no stamina. It kind of hammers out these things to the front, get acceleration and gets out your horse in the front of the race. First out, decreases horse time out. They really do play in tandem. And some of the really cool traits, like if you look at here with Speedy McSpeederson, he has a trait up here called Turner. Ability to get additional speed bonus when turning on your preferred track type, right? And so when you look at skills, there's a skill called lead leg. Turn closer to the rail and achieve greater acceleration out of the turn. These two traits and skills work completely in tandem and need to be acknowledged when you're building your horse so that you're putting in the right traits and you're putting in the right stats and you're not just kind of building it willy-nilly.
Yeah, I think, understanding those two kind of marry up is really key to getting the best boost out of your horse. And then you can go even one step further by looking at the metadata, but I think that's like, advanced tactics later on.
Yeah, definitely not in the realm of the scope of this presentation.
Sign into a new account, or do you want me just to go through my account here? It's up to you guys.
We can do yours account.
Well,
Perfect.
Or
let's do can we do a little bit of both just so we can see a little like what options are like once you're later on down the road, which obviously you are, and then we can actually show people what they need to do when they get in, recommendations when you're starting your horse maybe.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Okay, so
obviously
right
they're not
here,
going to start where you are. I mean, I
no,
wish my
correct.
horse
When
had
you
90
start
speed.
in, you're going to start in with just a basic horse right here, right? And you get to name your horse right from the jump. I have Rockster Soxers named after my dog. Very good dog. So I think it's going to be a very decent horse here. And you start off with a grade 3 horse. The purpose is to level up and train up your horse. So as you can see, like looking at stamina here, I got 57 points, and it tells me it requires 3 points to train up to the next level. So if I put in my 3 points in here, now I'm at level 58. Once this loads, there you go. And so I can continue to level as much as I would like. But once you receive 5 free training points every day. Once I went past those 5 free training points and I went into 6 or 7, it actually costs me some coins to level up. And now if I want to level up past from 8, 9, or 10, it actually costs me some gems to level up. So for the sake of the video, I'll spend some gems showcasing all of the levels. And now that I've leveled up Rockster Soxers from 57, level 57, stamina, to level 60, I've unlocked a new genetic trait. And so this is telling me that my horse is a stayer. If you look at it, it's actually a depiction of a racetrack. And so the far outside line that's being depicted here indicates a stayer. The middle line, if that was filled in, would indicate a miler. And the very inside line being filled in would indicate a sprinter. So from a glance, you can kind of have an idea of what your horse is. The best way that I equate that is looking here at my horse, Speedy McSpeederson. You can see that there's 3 traits that are being displayed. This is the second speed, stamina, and acceleration traits. And these traits are a very good roadmap for how your horse should be run, what it performs best on, and what length race you should be running on. So like looking at my horse, Speedy McSpeederson, from a glance, the first perk that I can see here is a hoof with some grass. And that is an indicator of that my horse likes turf tracks. The middle line is filled in on the track that I just was explaining to you, which indicates that this horse is a miler. So he likes turf tracks that are about 8 furlongs long. And the third trait that you see here is like a little bullseye. This is a perk or a trait called in the hunt. And this is indicating the tactic or what tactic type my horse performs best at. And in the hunt represents that of a stalker. So when you are entering into a race and you are trying to pick, what is the best race that my horse would be going into, you want to put in the parameters around your horse. So like I just said, my horse is good for 8 furlongs. He prefers dirt, and he's a grade 2 horse. And so now I can see all the horses or all the races that are in my ecosystem that are here. So I'm going to select this race right here. Can look at some of my competitors that I'm going to be going up against. And now I can select what tactic I wanted to run. I told you that Speedy is a stalker. I can apply boosters here. There's boosters that can be applied for each race that help amplify different types of traits. So here this is a stamina driven race, and Speedy needs a little bit of acceleration based upon his past levels. So I want to explain something here in real time. As you can see, my acceleration is 70. Now, when I put on this little booster, it makes my acceleration level go up to 72. This is only going to apply for this particular race. So boosters can help you in make it or break it situations, but they don't last forever. They're just a one-time short-term boost. They help you get a little bit more amplitude in your race. Now, also, you can see that when you race, it uses energy. My energy bar is going to go down 10 points when I enter into this race.
So
And so there
essentially,
you
it's
go.
like using a buff per se, like in an RPG, right? Like before you go into combat, you'd use a buff that lasts for the length of the combat and
Correct.
gives you a boost to be able to win.
Short-term buff. Just exactly like if you're fighting a boss in World of Warcraft or any of the other games that you could imagine. Exactly just like that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, don't apologize. That was a good equation. So that's how you can kind of enter into some of these races. Now, if you can look at, like, see this horse right here, Smokey McSmokerson. There's a symbol next to his name, right? That just indicates that this is an NFT horse. Roxers does not have an invincible symbol, but Speedy does. So this is just a quick way at looking at your horses from a glance to be able to tell which ones are NFTs and which ones are not NFTs. We also have some daily challenges that racers can participate in, like enter into a race at Valley of Fire. So it could be just very simply, just let's go and enter into a race at Valley of Fire. We can enter into instant races. And then we can watch the race, but because my phone's not sideways, I'm just going to skip just for the premise. You can earn your daily task rewards by just doing different types of tasks that are able to be carried out in the game. Skipping through races is not fun, but for the sake of just moving on to the next task to show you how this works, I wanted to do it. One of the other cool things is that we have some public races that are going to be going on today for a tournament that we have going on. And so you want to see right here, Las Vegas Turf Club Race 21. This is going to start in 23 minutes. In any race, 5 minutes till push, you can actually watch live. Any past race that's already been run, you can also go back and watch that race. So there's a lot of, you know, I don't know what the correct term would be, but there's a lot of transparency into how the races are run, how you can go back and audit your past performance or even some of your competitors' past performances and really help you to refine and train your horses better.
So can you show how I would find past races I have ran?
Yeah, so your own past races.
Yes.
What you can do is you can click here on account history. So just to be very clear, you click on the 3 lines at the top and you click on account history. And then any time that you ran a particular race, I haven't been running. Oh, these are bets, my bad. These are purchases and then these are stakes. So stakes are races. So you can see I ran some races on the 13th. I can go in here and I can see that I ran a race at Valley of Fire on June 13th, 2025, 125, and I won 14,000 silver coins from that race. I spent 10,000 to enter.
You can also go to your My Races. So under the racing tab, there's a My Races button, and that will also tell you, the previous races that you've done today.
Yes, that is very true. My Races.
Right there, My Races. Yeah.
Sorry, I was clicking on the wrong thing.
Perfect.
So the good thing about My Races, like Gap just said, is that with My Races, it's only going to show you the times and dates that you actually ran a race. So you don't have to go through looking for, oh, is this a yellow line? Did I run here? If I click back, it's going to bring me immediately to June 9th, which was then the last time I ran a race. And then it will bring me back immediately to April 30th when I ran a race. And then I can click on that, see how well I did. I came in third, and I can even pull up and watch the past race performance at a moment's notice. So there's a very good tip there, Sean. Then we have our contest page that show you all of our current contests that we have going on. Here's a little bit of a glimpse at our current leaderboards. The way that our contest that's currently going on works is that your first 5 races that you run, regardless of how many horses you have for a given grade type, whether it be grade 2, grade 3, or grade 1, those races will earn you points. If you win, you get 3, second 2, third 1, fourth and fifth 0, and 6th through 12th you lose a point. So it's more of a merit-based system. So we have a wide range of points in here: 182, 150, 158, 243, and 263. Sam is doing very good in terms of the veterans grade 2. He's in the top 3 for the G1s. Frankel up there, Waking the Echoes. So a lot of these veterans that have been doing very good that you can see. But what I've been really interested in is looking at a lot of the rookies and seeing a lot of these new people that are coming in and just seeing how deep these leaderboards go. We only track up to 100, but we have hundreds and hundreds of people in these categories. So it's been really fun and interesting, and I think really engaging with getting a lot of these new people in and driving up a lot of this competitive edge.
Now, I do have a quick question regarding the difference between community members who, let's say, purchase an actual NFT to upgrade or be able to upgrade their horses, as opposed to a community member that was able to get a free horse. Would they have a different experience when it comes to the actual UI of the app, or is everything exactly the same no matter on which side of the spectrum you sit on?
So in terms of the way that the game functions, in terms of like entering into a race and their horses working the same, it would basically be the same exact experience in theory, right? And what I use that in theory is the NFT horses that we initially minted and that we have minted were some of the better horses that we had in the collection. Each horse starts somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. And like I said, you build it from 0 to hero. And so some of the NFTs might have had a little bit of better starting stats than some of the non-NFTs. But if we were to operate on an NFT horse starting with the same stats and a non-NFT horse starting with the exact same stats, they have the exact same capabilities in game. The only difference in game currently would be that they have this invincible symbol next to them and the other one does not. Once Real Money Stakes Racing comes out, it's a whole different ball game. We're going to be bringing in breeding, which is exclusive only to NFT horses, which can give you residual earnings just from simply having a badass a male horse. You can get stud fees. But then also on top of that, like I had talked about earlier and Gap reiterated on, we're going to be having more token-based racing, NFT horse-only competitions. Our reward system that we have going forward is based upon not NFT staking or token staking, but holding of NFT assets and holding of certain amounts of token. So we are going to be amplifying, and there will be more of a noticeable difference post TGE for these NFT horses for sure.
Okay, now just to go a little bit deeper, now for those community members that are Web3 native, we're all familiar we're having to verify our NFTs, whether it's through Matrica and Discord or things of that nature. Will there be a verification process for those community members that do choose to purchase an NFT? And will that verification process be in-app or like we're used to through Matrica and Discord?
So if you purchased an NFT right now, you do not link the NFT in app. You actually go to our website and you sign into our website using the same exact sign-in credentials that you used on the app. So for me, I sign in with Google. I would just sign in on the website with Google. And on the website, I then can link my wallet with my account. And so when I've linked my wallet with my account, it will actually reflect all of my invincible horses that are in my collection. And so let's say I link my account, I have 10 horses, and then 20 minutes later, you send me your 10. There, I just go back into my account. I click the refresh button on my horses. It would reflect all of the new 10 horses that you have now sent me on my account. The next time I log into the app, they're all in my game, ready to play, as you can see here, just like Speedy McSpeederson, just like Smokey McSmokerson, and so on and so forth.
No, awesome. Thank you so very much. I was just more making sure that, again, the Owners Club has done an amazing job at being able to onboard people with a seamless experience through not even being able to know this is a Web3 game. So we just wanted to make sure that those who are crypto native don't get confused because of how easy the product is to use, if that.
I think that we've done a great walkthrough so far and given the community a abundance of information that they can start with, and that will lead into I'm hoping plenty of more questions and community engagement between both of our communities with this game. And I can see a big future racing between communities and other people. And I'm honestly going to go take a look at your guys' NFTs and see what's on the floor right now, see what I can't do,
Mhm.
and look into really building up at least one horse, or maybe even start to breed them when they'll go live. Like, that's exciting too. So we got to go see if there's any mares or any studs available for sale on. So do we just pick up your NFT on Magic Eden, or how would we go about doing that?
Yep.
So
Either
you can
Magic.
pick them up on Magic Eden or Tensor or even Sniper.
Oh,
Sorry, Gab.
No, it's okay. I don't think Sniper. I think Sniper decommissioned their NFT marketplace the other day. So the Eden or Tensor.
I guess I'm a couple days behind on the news.
That's
I
okay.
guess we're just with 2 now.
Dropping even more alpha for everyone.
I was just going to say that, Gap. I said even more alpha for the community. I did want to echo what Duck just said. You know, we truly appreciate you guys taking so much time to deep dive into, again, not just the partnership of the Owners Club with the Alpha Club, but actually being able to describe to the community all the potential within the game. Because as I mentioned earlier, and I apologize for the redundancy, but entertainment is something that will never go away. And as Doug just mentioned, it is everything the Owners Club has pioneered already, in my honest opinion, has so much more room to grow in ways that we couldn't even imagine. As he just mentioned, cross community racing, which again bridges communities together. But as Andrew mentioned at the beginning, imagine having an ability to promote your project during different races and banners. And I don't know, just a lot of light bulbs were going off. And I truly, truly, truly believe that y'all have a beautiful and bright future ahead of you guys. I really, really, again, want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart and soul for taking the time to deep dive today, bring so much alpha to the SagaDAO Alpha Club, and just, I'm truly bullish on the future. I know Duck feels the same. I know Gap absolutely feels the same way. And I just appreciate this connection being brought together. And I know that it's just the start to a long and beautiful journey together.
Absolutely, it is. And it was a pleasure being here, but thank you for having us. I really do appreciate that as well.
No, absolutely. And again, for those of you who are listening to the recording, this was made on June 17th, but we will be having our official Owners Club and Alpha Club Community AMA on Monday, June 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you keep those notifications on. We will absolutely have so much more alpha to bring. And again, we just look forward to a beautiful and bright future together.
Yeah, I just actually had a question. And I know you said that you don't have to, but are there options to purchase an NFT or in-game purchases that can help you? Anything like that that can help you with your horses?
For sure, there are. So there's two kind of horses that are available. There's the in-game horses that you can buy for silver coins or gems. And I think we're actually going to do a promotion for the community. So when the community we're going to do, I think, an AMA next week. And when everyone comes to that AMA, anyone who comes to that AMA, we're going to throw them some silver coins so they can go buy an in-game horse. So, we're trying to bring back value back to the SDAC community. And doing that, we're going to provide that promotion. But also, there's also NFT horses as well. So the NFT horses are listed on all the secondary markets. You can find them under the Owners Club title. And, that ever since we started doing all of our collabs with our communities, the NFT floor has exploded. So, no better time to grab one than now, kind of thing.
Awesome.
Well, y'all heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the Alpha Club has always prided ourselves on bringing value, and that's why we truly appreciate this partnership with the Owners Club, because we truly feel that they have the same vision and mission here in Web3, which is, again, to have that cross-community pollination while bringing value in different forms throughout community events, community gatherings. As we mentioned, we will have our AMA coming up next week, which we will definitely deep dive even further into everything that we will be delivering at the Alpha Club, partnered up with the Owners Club. Now, I do know that there are a lot of community members that are heavy into gaming. Is there anything that they could be participating now before we even hit the ground running next week with the AMA? Is there anything they could be looking forward to maybe over the weekend? Or is there maybe a set schedule that you guys already have for community events per se over at the Owners Club?
Yeah, I mean, we have the Invincible Stakes tournament going on right now that players can get involved in. We have a Zilly campaign that actually will have a challenge in it
Is
to
it me?
attend our space next week, right? So great thing. And some of the rewards that we're giving away from the Zilly campaign are just some NFTs as well as more coins and token. We're giving away weekly rewards for rookies to come in, giving them away NFTs and more token. Even the veterans, they're getting some of the more sought after NFTs and dappled gray NFTs that have the potential of breeding into more of the prestigious white horses in prestige, just simply because of rarity, obviously. But there's a lot that's going on right now that people can get involved in before, even tomorrow.
Absolutely amazing. Again, we really do. I know that when it comes to community growth, Duck and I know Gap feels the same way. We see a lot of value at the Owners Club, not just, again, on the Web3 side, but being able to bridge both worlds and have everybody come together. Now, when it comes down getting into the actual game, is there any exclusive alpha that you can drop for our community when it comes down to maybe some gems that they should be looking for within the game? Any sort of, and I don't, being very transparent, I don't know much verbiage when it comes to game lingo, but is there anything that they should be looking out for more specifically to make their game, I guess, experience that much more fun, beneficial, etc.?
Well, my suggestion would then be to, whether it be an NFT or whether it be an in-game horse, get one of each grade type. And the reason I suggest that is because once you train through a grade 3 and then you train through a grade 2, you'll dramatically notice differences in terms of leveling and customization. But once you add a grade 1 into that mix and you realize, wow, This is 3 times more trainable than a grade 3. There's a lot more customizable features. I can reach different levels. It's a lot more competitive. That's when you get to really see the intrigue into it, and you get to really start figuring out, oh, okay, if I got a different grade 1, or if I want to go buy an NFT one, am I going to get a miler, or do I want to get a sprinter, or do I want to focus on a marathoner or stair races? The math or the thinking really goes into every move that you start to make, and so you just got to get your feet in the water just a little bit, and then I think you'll go and want to be jumping right on in.
That makes sense on the tiers. I've only got grade 3s right now, and I've upgraded and upgraded and upgraded, and yeah, in the instant races, I'm still not doing good. So that actually makes more sense. Although I have won one public race, so
There you
that was
go.
cool. Yeah. Anyways, that being said, is there opportunity, say, for people who come in and just get a free horse to potentially turn their winnings inside the game into actual earnings once your guys' TGE event happens?
So in terms of turning their winnings in game, you can't take silver coins that you win in game and turn it into IGGT, right? And so once we have the IGGT launch and we have that token live, we're going to have separate races where you'll have token races, you'll have silver coin races. Now, it doesn't mean that we won't have coin-based tournaments where you have the chance of winning a token or vice versa across the board. But there's no like direct way to take said coins and turn it into tokens or something like that, or take a non NFT horse and turn it into an NFT horse type of thing.
I was just going to add to that. I think you touched on it, Andrew, but there is kind of a way, and that is, through the tournaments that we have going on right now. Anyone who participates in the tournament will be getting a certain allocation of the token that's going to be dropping. And if you place well in the tournament, you'll get further allocations. So, anyone who jumps in now pre-TGE into these tournaments and any future tournaments or races that we do in the future, as Andrew mentioned, that might be, or coins to enter, but tokens to win, might be an avenue for people who are free-to-play players to monetize on that side of the fence.
Now, when it comes down to the actual partnership with the Owners Club, do you mind giving us a little deep dive into what that looks like and what the Alpha Club community can expect in the future with this partnership?
Yeah. Do you want to take this?
Sure, yeah, I can handle that one. So, basically, with the partnership between the SDAC community and Owners Club, we're trying to branch out and introduce different communities to Owners Club, and eventually, through the AMAs and the walkthroughs, we're trying to educate people on, some tips and tricks on how to build their horse, how to enter races, how to get comfortable with the UX and the UI, and then after that, we want to start introducing Owners Club into regular games nights, similar to how we would do poker. There'll be a night where we go and we race some horses. And, as we mentioned before, nice thing about Owners Club is that it's free to play, so everyone can join in without having to go and buy an NFT or going to go buy anything. So it makes it very accessible on that side of the thing. And then once we get the, community kind of comfortable with the game itself, the eventual kind of platform is to look at community versus community tournaments. So, I think like the Web3 ecosystem is really conducive to competitive tournaments between all of our, organized DAOs. So I think it's a great kind of evolution for how we can move forward with our partnership and also with the evolution of the game throughout the Web3 ecosystem.
Absolutely bullish. That just means I better start getting better at gaming, and I need to start learning quick. And gaming is, in my opinion, one of the highest tiered forms of entertainment. So I feel like you guys have really done a great job at going after, I don't want to call it a certain demographic per se, but more so your target audience, right? Now, if you don't mind me asking, when it comes down to the regulations part, is there, I know in the United States, we seem to have a harder time when it comes to different projects, being able to participate. Is there anything that our community should be aware of if we are located in the United States when it comes to participating in your ecosystem?
Yeah, so there are 33 states in the United States that will allow and facilitate real money stakes wagering in a game if it's a skill-based game and not a game based upon chance, right? And so I know that me being here in Florida, my state is not one of those. So I will not be able to partake. I think everybody can do a little bit of research in terms of whether it be Google or just looking up your applicable law that might apply to your particular state, just so you can just have a better understanding right from the forefront, right, on whether or not you'll be able to participate in the real money stakes racing. I know here in Florida, it's a little more rigorous. The Seminole Indian tribe, or the Native American tribe, rather, they have exclusive rights over wagering up until 2055. So good for them, and they actually own the Hard Rock brand in totality, the worldwide brand, the Seminole Native American tribe. So they have that lockdown, so we don't work there in Florida, but there's many other states. Obviously there's 33 more that you can participate in, and that would be just the best way. Just do a little bit of research into what your state allows and what your state doesn't allow.
And all that information is readily available on the app, or would it be best to go into Discord?
So that information on what states is actually not in the app, nor is it on Discord. Now that you actually mention that point, because we're more of a worldwide, we weren't really focused on the US, but in terms of getting that information, it doesn't hurt to go put something like that onto Discord. Right now, without it being on Discord, I would just use Google.
So again, I don't mean to sound redundant, but as we've always said, product in the front, tech in the back. And when you deliver that seamless experience, it's impossible to fail. You're literally opening the gates, for so many people out there to come into our community. So that is absolutely amazing.